Hello, my name is Mackenzie Gibson, and I am a creative artist operating under many hats: actress, filmmaker, director, producer, founder. And I'm also a Toronto-based creative building the infrastructure my own work needs. And that is the current project I'm working on right now, which will hopefully help all of my future projects. In order to talk about Demo.to and why I'm building it, I have to talk about who I am and what I do and what led me to this. So I am an actress. I graduated from Toronto Film School, where I found that I was drawn to uncanny female characters who usually end up to be the villain, which is awesome because I usually get cast as that, which is great. I also write and direct. So I've made a short film called Stuck on Jupiter and an experimental short film called The Inspiration Machine. And I'm also producing this creative platform. So I'm founding it. I'm navigating partnerships. I've brought on a collaborator who is able to create the actual website, which we're working on right now. So I'm very excited to work on that. The reason why I'm building Demo.to and what inspired me was my own story after graduation, because after graduation I felt so ready to jump into everything that I had learned and get started on it. So I was planning on doing a sample test, a screen test for an idea that I had, and then I dropped my phone into a sewer grate while I was filming another short film. So my camera was gone. So then I thought maybe I would reach out to somebody who I knew had a camera, who I could possibly work with, and it turns out that they had moved away. So I found myself with no resources and no crew, because the way that I was trying to get it done and the way that I had always kind of relied on getting things done wasn't available to me. So I ended up finding more people to film with, but they ended up being from London. So I still had nobody nearby within my network from school because I'm an actor and so are all of my friends. So everything that I had worked for and built the skills for was out of my reach. I don't think I'm the only person who had this problem after graduation. I think that a lot of students have a lot of momentum, a lot of ideas. We've been doing this for, 2-3 years. We've got the muscle memory to do it, but now we have to go out and do it on our own. And a lot of us built foundations in school, like I did, but then they fall apart after graduation because people move, or, for example, I had to get a full-time job, so I didn't have the same availability that I had to be able to go outside of the GTA and meet up with people who didn't live downtown. So existing options like Facebook groups, I used those a couple of times. I know a couple of my acting friends did as well, but getting traction after graduation is quite difficult. So making your own projects, I feel, is the best way, and that's how I have been able to stay within the creative industry after graduation. So what I'm building is a free platform connecting Toronto filmmakers, artists, and creators with the collaborators and the equipment that they need to make work. And free is very important because underneath the free always is a photo of me and the crew that I put together for my experimental short film. 2 of which are actors and 2 of which have absolutely nothing to do with the creative industry at all and just helped me out of the goodness of their hearts. So thank you for that. And it's built for both sides. So in the photo under that, you will see me and Camilo, a director. So we would both have a reason to use this platform. Me, an actor, I need people like him. Him, a director, he needs people like me. And then local by design. That matters very much to me because right now the people who I'd usually collaborate with are hours away, which doesn't actually solve the problem that I had. So I want to get this out into the world, even if it doesn't work in the way that I hope, because if I'm building something functional and make sure that people know it exists and it's free and they still don't use it, I think that tells me something about where the appetite for collaborative and creative work actually stands right now. And I don't mean that in a negative way, it's just being honest. And for what it's worth, I think that the reaction so far has been quite the opposite. Because every time that I've described this idea to someone, they've told me that they want to do more creative and collaborative work. So I think that the demand is there. I just want to build the thing that makes it possible to act on it. Who it's for also goes back to what I was saying about it being on both sides. It's not just in front of the camera, behind the camera. It is everything to do with the film industry. So that includes emerging artists and established creatives. So people who are in their broke years, when they have a bunch of ideas, they don't necessarily have the network and they're just looking for people to work with. And then there's established creatives who are working professionals who have the gear, but they may not necessarily have the time to do their own projects, or they just want to collaborate on independent projects because that's something that they don't necessarily get to do within their professional creative careers. What I've done so far to build this platform is that I've collaborated with Jasper, who is building this, and together we've created a brand kit, and we've got the wireframes on the left, which basically shows how a user would navigate this. So we've thought of all of the navigation paths that a user would want to take and what they are putting into it. So basically what their demo would be, and what they're showing, and what they're looking for. So we have to think about this on two sides all the time. So we've got those wireframes. We are a collective, so we've got a collective agreement. It's a registered Ontario business, and there's the platform is in development, as I mentioned, and we've got a complete brand identity. So we're well on our way to creating it. It's just got to be created now. And once it is done, I'm really excited to put it out there and see if it works, just to see if I can get some more collaborators, because I need it for what I do. Because I am a director and I've directed my own short film, Stuck on Jupiter, and I have ideas for the future and I would love to do that. And I'm also an actor, so I would love to look for roles that are more local to me and not all the way in, London or Ottawa or Montreal. So I am hoping that this is a success, not just because I want to build something successful, but because I want to be able to use something like this. Bottom line is, Demotio is an important artistic endeavor for me. It is not just a platform that I am building, it's something that I wish that I had. I built it because I needed it to exist. It is built for people like me, and I hope that once I put it out there that people receive it and get to utilize it, and get to know about it. So that's what I do. That's what I want to do. And my name is Mackenzie Gibson. I don't think that you'll be able to click through to the portfolio site because this is going to be a video, so I will link it in the description below, and that is my email if you would like to get in touch about my artistic endeavor. Thank you very much.